Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, it's Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is a man that never goes in the back forbidden door, JC.
What? Oh, that is quite the intro, Nestlemania. And yeah, we have to talk about Forbidden Door. This
we have to.
That's happening.
It's forbidden.
We have to make predictions on it about stuff, and it's going to be exciting, much like all of its content on Dynamite has been so good.
If Will Ospreay could just be in every matchup, folks, I would just be happy. I think Will Ospreay needs to be in every match. I think he looks like a donkey, and that's what we're going to do, folks.
He's in a 6-man tag on Dynamite, and we'll get there because we do have a load of week. We will hit on Forbidden Door and predictions later in the show. We're going to hit on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all the happenings. Big weekend wrestling, as always, Nestlemania. But we start this show one way, in one way only, and that is much like Mandy Rose, always in the shine. And Nestlemania, it happened. Elias, not our comeback this week, but he returned to Raw and put on a concert. Him and Ezekiel were seen backstage talking together on a couch. When Kevin Owens came out and threw a tirade at Elias, Ezekiel was on the Tron confronting him. And then even when Kevin Owens went to the back to be all upset, right when Elias was still in the ring, Ezekiel came up to him and told him to chill. So, hey, man, you know, Kevin, Ezekiel might be telling the truth.
It's funny. I was really hoping it was going to be Aaron Idle-Stevens or Damian Sandow. I really did. But you know what? They got the WWE version of what we thought was going to happen, right? So it is what it is. Of course, we did he made a comment about something that I think is hilarious. I'll talk about in a second. But he being, Ezekiel and Elias sitting side by side. They even did the little fist dap to kind of make it look like it was legit. Like, I love that portion of it. The whole trying to sell the whole thing. He comes out, he does the song, he gets interrupted, classic Elias getting interrupted. And then, Kevin Owens comes out, which I think might be the line of the year, and says, I'm French Canadian. You can't get anything past me. I'm smarter than all of you. Like, I just love that. I thought that was wonderful. He came out, he didn't touch the beard. I was sitting there going, it's a gamble. It's a gamble putting him out there with like a fake beard because it could fall off and then the whole thing could just unravel, or maybe it would get funnier. I don't know.
Or maybe Nestlemania, Elias and Ezekiel are really two different people.
I hope so. But
we might be getting Elrod soon, as soon as next week, because Kevin Owens issued a challenge to Ezekiel, Elias, or Elrod, the younger brother.
Elrod, yes. Elrod could be the guy. And I think that would be the funniest part is if Elrod came out somehow. For something that I didn't expect to enjoy when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
I asked a lot of people last night on Twitter. I said, what did you guys think? And I ask anybody who's watching here, or you can text you can add us on Twitter or whatever, message us, whatever. What are your thoughts on this stuff? Because I'm enjoying it. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy it, but it's a thing.
Without Cody and Seth, this is the best thing on Raw right now. It's entertaining to the next level. If you love entertainment, which we are entertainment guys, we love that. Obviously we know Kevin Owens is capable of this and he's amazing. And we saw Elias when he was like in his peak, like he was amazing with the crowd, but like this different thing was such a risk to bring him back as this generic guy without his beard, without his guitar, without his son, have him come out. But like they introduced it the perfect way the night after WrestleMania. We thought it was all cool. And if you would have told me that night that this storyline would still be going on here on June 21st, I would have laughed in your face. It would have been like, there's no way they can drag this thing out for like almost 3 full months. Like, there's no way. Or 2 full months. There's no way. But they have. And somehow this week it got even better. and it looks like it's going to continue. At least they're fighting again next week. Who knows? Maybe that could be the culmination. Ezekiel said he wanted to be Money in the Bank, so I wouldn't be surprised if that match turned into a qualifier or whatever. But this has been a lot of fun, Nestlemania, and obviously, I love Kevin Owens, but I like Ezekiel's been a great part of it too. So to try to pinpoint what part of it is my favorite, I don't think I can. I just think it's that beautiful mix, that melting pot of flavor that is perfect.
It's hard for me to really sit there and think about what's the best part of this stuff, but Ezekiel is the perfect foil. Like, he's not the star of this. I mean, he is, but he isn't, right? So it's like KO, we want to see KO lose his fucking shit, right? That's really the crux of this entire thing, is just someone driving somebody absolutely crazy. But it was appointment television. I had no idea. I saw so many tweets in my timeline that said, I'm watching Raw for Elias. Like, I could not believe that. And our boy Aaron's in. What's up, Aaron? Let's see if I can get his quote in here. Aaron says, what's up, guys? How y'all today? A little low expectations on the Elias segment, but I loved it. It was the only thing I enjoyed on Raw for me. Listen, I thought there was a lot of good stuff on Raw, but it's a great point, Aaron. It was
a lot's a strong word, but
all right. Well,
this was by far the best thing. This was
heads and shoulders. I agree. I think Aaron's right. Head and shoulders. So look, you sit there and you think about these things, guys. Elias was kind of dead in the water, no pun intended, because he was dead, right?
Yeah, they killed him in a graveyard. He buried him. Yeah.
And he buried himself. So I don't really understand where we're going with this now. I made a half joke last night on Twitter, hashtag 3 faces of Elias instead of 3 faces of Foley. I don't know if we're going to get that kind of thing.
Hey,
where
you know what?
Elrod,
it works for Foley. Like, we get to the Rumble next year. I hope Ezekiel, Elias, and Elrod are all in it.
I just want to see Elrod now. We're at a point where I want to see Elrod, right?
How do you make him look? What do you change? What do you think Elrod will look like? Because obviously Elias has the beard and the tied back hair and the bandana. Ezekiel is just like the hair all out and no beard. What does Elrod look like? Does he have an eye patch? Like, is he a pirate?
I'm thinking glasses. That's the standard master of disguise.
Elrod sounds very librarian.
Elrod's a nerdy. And that's okay.
I like that.
Nerds are great. I think
that.
A jacked nerd as Elroy or whatever. Elroy's better than Elrod, but that's fine. Elrod's just nonsense.
Like Elrod.
But it's there, right? But yeah, bald with a beard, Aaron says. I don't hate that either, but I don't know how you get the hair back for next week unless it's a bald cap. But
I mean, even with the bald cap, that's a lot of hair to stick under there. He's gonna look like he has a big head.
Elrod. He has to change his voice too. He should be like, hello, I'm Elrod.
That's the one thing I'm glad they haven't really messed around with the voice, because him switching between characters, that's where they could slip up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they all just have the same voice. I think it makes it even better.
I just think that for Kevin Owens, after the height of the Austin thing at WrestleMania, main eventing WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, to come back down to this, I'm not saying this is a gear shift. It's not necessarily a demotion, but it's
I don't think this is going down, because I think this is the type of stuff
Kevin Owens is doing a great job.
KO and Sammy love doing in the Miz. Like, these are why these guys are so successful, because they're willing to do this stuff, and they make this stuff where if regular old superstar would get it, it would be mid to bad. They get it, and they make it the best part of the show.
It is. And you know what? I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about when this comes to this stuff, because Elrod is really what we want next week. And if we get an Elrod chant next week, I would be so fucking pumped.
We might get an Elrod match, so we have that to look forward to. But Nestlemania, I'm curious. You said you liked other stuff on Raw. I have a couple notes, but I wasn't really in love with anything.
All right, I got to back up because I'm so excited. You ready for this, folks?
Oh shit!
Hashtag Nestle's hopes come true. Ciampa coming to save the Miz. I was so excited. I mean, the Miz did a great job with the AJ Styles Miz TV. I want to take a lap, but I don't think I could follow the camera with me while I took a victory lap around the entire studio. That'd be kind of weird.
It'd be the best your shot ever looked without you in it.
That was hurtful. On a level of 1 to 5, that was a 4. Anyway, so Miz does this, what I thought was a decent Miz TV. I thought that was fine. But then here's the thing. You guys poo-pooed on me because I talked about how AJ Styles ain't going to be in the Money in the Bank. And you guys were like, oh, Nestle poo-pooed AJ Styles. Guess what? He's not in Money in the Bank.
Not yet.
He's not going to be in Money in the Bank.
Neither is Becky Nestle, but she's probably going to get in it too.
I will not get into it, but I'll tell you right now, AJ Styles is not going to be in Money in the Bank this year.
We weren't mad that you said that. We were mad that you were like burying him, saying
I didn't bury him. He's the phenomenal one. I said the match is whatever. It is what it is. Well, Dom takes offense to everything I say. I love Dom.
Well, that's because you say outlandish, ridiculous.
I have been told
Dom is a very intelligent, well-versed wrestling fan and isn't here for your bullshit.
No, listen, if it's not 1997 or 1988 or whatever the hell he watches, it's fine. He loves some Middlesex Express or whatever the hell they're called. The middle, whatever. The Midnight Express, excuse me. He loves the old stuff.
Bruh.
Brah. I got to bring up Corey's thing again. Brah. Brah. I'm just going to, every time I screw up, I'm just going
Is
to leave
that really
Corey's
how you
comment
think
up there.
people say it? They say, bruh. They
Brah.
don't. That isn't how
No,
it
it's
sounds.
brah. Right? Brah.
Just keep trying. This is entertaining.
Brah?
Look, that was a inquisitive one.
Brah. 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 No? No? All right. Well, I need somebody hipper than me to send me a video and say.
When I think hip, I do not think Nestlemania.
All right, this one. How do I pronounce this one? Bring.
I think the G might be a typo, but
Bree. Thank you, Corey.
Go.
Bree. Can you explain it to me though? Like I don't understand what the Bree. I don't know. Is it like another form of bro?
There's nothing to explain.
Bree.
It is what it is.
It just sounds like it should be at the beginning of like a WWE entrance theme. Bree. And then, you know.
I mean, it's pretty close to Riddle with the bro.
So yeah, I just want to take a victory lap because none of my hopes ever come true. And I was like, oh my God, he's
that was a good call by you because you did say that Ciampa was always around the Miz
in the segment.
I didn't pick up on it, and this week it kind of did it, and Miz kind of gave him the look like, yeah, that's my guy. And like we talked about whenever you brought it up, like this is a good decision, a good way for Ciampa to get introduced.
I just want to say detective hat. I don't have the music anymore where we can just jiggle it out, but it's in there. It's in there. All right, let's move on. Anything else specifically that you're excited about?
Can I go to SmackDown?
Go right ahead, my friend.
So Madcap got the last laugh over Corbin, 3-0, which is fine. Madcap is now ready to move on to bigger and better things. But so we see this a lot. Is sometimes the loser gets something even better in Nestlemania. Because what happened after the match? Happy Corbin went over to the announce desk and confronted Pat McAfee.
Yeah, so
here's what, Nestlemania? When what's coming up at the end of July?
SummerSlam, yes.
Who's probably going to be on that card?
Pat McAfee, because
who do we want to see him face?
Baron Corbin.
It's because it's good because he's been crapping, and Corbin even said he's like, "You're the one who was making fun of me when I was a sad sack." This is perfect, and it was not something that like obviously it was out there, but it was never something I really thought like that's a match I want to see. But the second they interacted, I'm like, man, this has the potential, much like McAfee Theory, to be one of the better parts of the summer.
Can I ask you a question? And I think I know the answer, but I throw this out to everybody that's either listening, watching, or whatever, participating in any way in the knocker. If you bring out Pat McAfee so many times for these big events, does it get to a point where you feel like he's taking up a spot?
No, not with him, because he it's one of those things where if people really want it, then it's okay. And it's one of those things that he's also like, he's on SmackDown every week. Like it's not like out of the ordinary for commentators to come back and wrestle. Like how many times did freaking Jerry Lawler do it, or JBL, or Booker T, or hell, even Michael Cole was doing it for a while when he was on his steroids getting in the ring. So it's not something they do a lot, but I think with McAfee, and we saw it at WrestleMania, man, especially with like the casual fans are all about him, the diehard fans are all about him. He is just like the perfect baby face. I think what makes it special is they don't really use him that often, is that he just kind of stays in his role. So when he does get in there, it's exciting. And as we've seen in his WrestleMania match and his matches in NXT, is like this guy puts in the work to be ready to not embarrass himself, much like Bad Bunny. And so you know what? As far as I'm concerned, guys like that, they always got a spot if they want it.
But he has to lose to Corbin. That has to happen.
Has to is a strong word, because I also thought he had to lose to Theory, and look at Theory since then. Theory lost to him at WrestleMania. He got destroyed by Stone Cold at WrestleMania, and that guy's on fire. So Corbin has always been better in his career when he's a loser. So I love Pat McAfee. I love the person. I love his story. I love that he's in WWE. I love how passionate he is. But if he's going to be in matches, I think I want to see him lose. That's what I said at WrestleMania, but I was happy to be wrong.
Like Shane McMahon doesn't need to go and win every time. I mean, he's Shane McMahon. He can do this and then lose.
But as Corbin, Corbin's one of those indestructible heels where it doesn't matter. Like he's just proven over his career. Like that guy has taken more big L's than anyone. It literally doesn't matter. Like they need him. He's a plug and play. He's just that good.
Pat McAfee is a better Shane McMahon.
He's
he moves the needle more.
He will make a big
kaboom. He'll have a good time. Yeah. He won't annoy you. He won't sweat so much.
And Pat McAfee, that's a pretty good comparison.
I think he's better than Shane McMahon when Shane McMahon was younger. I think that
wrestling, yes.
No.
Overall character, he probably is, but I think it's a lot closer.
I think. Well, Shane was a better heel, obviously, because he was like annoying.
We haven't seen McAfee as well. We did, I guess, in NXT, but.
But I just think I think that Pat McAfee is the Shane McMahon role, right? Like, don't do it so much. That's what I would think. That's all. But it is what it is. Our boy Aaron says he can see Pat McAfee winning and then get bum ass Corbin again, and they,
That's
he
what
couldn't
people
believe he
want.
lost to
People
Pat.
want bum ass Corbin back. So,
I mean, I understand bum ass Corbin, but like, then where do you go from there?
they can do the same thing again. Who knows?
No, because then it's stupid. It's just like it undoes
Corbin
everything.
Nestlemania. Do you remember the discussions we were having towards the end of the bum ass Corbin run about people actually saying and giving takes that he could be a babyface? And me, the biggest Corbin guy in the world, was like, they could probably try it like they did with the Miz, but like this guy is such a natural heel. But it's like we got to that point because that gimmick was so beloved and so well like taken by everyone that like people actually started cheering this man. Corbin, who is like, when you look up WWE heel in the dictionary, his picture is right there. Like one of those guys that consistently, no matter what, bad guy. But for that part of that run, people were ready for him as a babyface. I wasn't, because I think he's one of the best heels in the biz. So keep him that way. It's just like MJF. Those guys stay there forever.
If it was timed perfectly for Money in the Bank, like I feel like then we could do it. But now we're kind of overlapping it, so it doesn't seem like a big thing. But it's hard. It's hard because you don't know what to do here. Like if he loses to Pat McAfee, I don't think we can do bum ass Corbin, honestly, because I feel like we already did it. Like the opportunity was there. They didn't capitalize on it as much as they probably could.
Knowing Corbin, there would be like a different version of it. Because this guy, whenever he makes a change, it's all into it and it's something completely different. So it could be something adjacent, but yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the same.
Okay. Anything else? You want to move on to SmackDown? Something else on this?
Yeah, I really loved it. Was a quick segment, but the Gunther and Ludwig promo in the back was great. They're already Gunther's had the promo a week, and he's already making that title. Or had the promo week. He's had the title a week, and he's already making it feel like he's just like propping it up and being like, no American will ever hold it again. You know, Vince loves that, and it's one of those things. It's like it is called the Intercontinental title, so it just gives it a little bit more like. You can start lining people up for Gunther and have him just knock them down like bowling pins. And it could be like, this could be a really fun historic run.
You just gave me, I had a hope. You just gave me a great hope.
All right. I'll save it.
I am so, no, talk about it. But I'm just letting you know.
That's all I had. I just said that I really like that promo because it's one of those things like it was simple. It was to the point, and I thought it was effective.
I thought that was wonderful, and I got to remember what you just said so that I can remember it for my hope because it's way better than my other hope. So I'm gonna save that for another segment. Anyway, something that I'm gonna piggyback off of here that you mentioned, sort of, kind of. Seth Rollins attacked a Riddle afterwards, and it is, I am the Visionary. You know, the whole thing. All I could think about, guys, was Riddle versus Rollins after Money in the Bank would be really fun. I think that would be.
Sounds like SummerSlam to me.
It you know what it looks like to me? It's like. It's two sides of a coin. They're just two dudes that will never get along, two dudes that just shouldn't be friends, probably will be tag team partners in 3 years, but
what about Randy?
Randy. Hey, Randy. I'll say
my
this much.
My best friend, Randy.
I hope Randy Orton comes back and just gives him an RKO. It'd be so great.
It's like the way
start right there.
And Riddle trying to say he's doing all this stuff for Randy and losing. Like, it's going to build back. We're going to get the feud whenever Orton's ready to come back. Who knows when? But.
Right, WrestleMania. I mean, he comes back and they do a quick RKO run, and then boom. That's how you do it. You get him right. You get him right to WrestleMania. There you go. Boom. I just booked fucking 3 months of work. There you go. You're all set.
Comes and saves him in the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking, they get their moment. They get a quick little thing.
The Rumble is shaping up, or we could have an Orton return, a Cody return. Yeah. Oh my god!
If you're not getting tickets to the Rumble, you're an idiot.
I'm gonna have gasms everywhere.
Where's Dom? Dom needs to get tickets to the fucking
Where's the Rumble next year?
I don't know. Probably somewhere huge, like a fucking baseball stadium.
Royal Rumble 2020.
We can all hear you typing. Have a little less type. All right.
The microphone is a very good microphone.
It's a very good microphone.
Potential Rumble.
Oh, this is a waste of our time. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking.
San Antonio, Texas, at the Alamo Dome. That is a report.
That is a Shawn Michaels place. Look, I think that's pretty much everything that I have in terms of babyface stuff on the old Shine here. Anything else you got, Bubba?
So I'm torn on this, and we can transition the heat from it because but like Reigns Riddle was really good as expected. Whenever we got it, we knew it was going to be good. But I just I don't know. I kind of am annoyed at Roman Reigns. The fact when they said this is the first time he defended against WrestleMania, and I was like, that's bullshit. First off, fuck you. He should be defending it more. And then now it's and now we already know his SummerSlam opponent, meaning we're not going to see this motherfucker again for a few weeks, and he'll come back and he'll do I'm Roman Reigns, and he'll fight, and then he'll go away again. Give up one of the titles, dude. You're holding us hostage, and I do not appreciate it, you tribal cuck. That was for Don.
Wow.
He liked it when I said that last week, so I said it again.
I'm just surprised that you're still on this this mountain.
No, it's
Not an island, but an island.
he calls himself the island of relevancy. Well, he's the island of irrelevancy when you're not on TV. And the whole point of unifying these titles was to get him on both shows to kind of whatever. And he never goes on Raw. The Usos are doing their part. Those guys are going it's which way and everywhere. They're wrestling on Raw, on SmackDown. Hell, they're probably wrestling on Main Event with the Judgment Day and the Mysterios. By the way, a title change on Main Event this week. Did you see that?
No, what happened?
Doudrop, new 24/7 champion, her first singles title in WWE.
Get the fuck out of here!
So not only do they have that, the 24/7 title
opportunity,
change, it was the Judgment Day and the Mysterios fought on Main Event. So big Main Event this week. I think those Main Event ratings might beat the Rampage ratings.
Wow, that was saucy. That was honestly, saucy.
The minute I saw that, I'm like, are they trying to get better numbers than Rampage so Vince can just sit there and be like, ha ha ha, Tony, your show's on TV and sucks.
So we can translate over to the Heat here. So get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV, or get him on my TV, depending on how you feel about Roman Reigns.
Yeah, get back on my TV.
Get back on my TV and get off your fucking island. Somebody had a great comparison of 2021 Roman Reigns, ripped, fucking just a stud. And then it cuts to 2022 on Friday, looking a little doughy, and the caption says, really enjoying the island.
We did the same thing with Brock Lesnar when he did the same thing, man. Roman Reigns is Brock Lesnar now.
I mean,
it's so if you hate Brock Lesnar for those reasons, you better hate Roman Reigns for those reasons.
I just hope we get sexy cowboy Roman, because at that point, then we get sexy cowboy Brock, sexy cowboy.
But you hate
Roman.
cowboys.
I don't like cowboy. Hangman Page is the only cowboy I enjoy. Other than that, I'm not a sexy cowboy guy. Shawn Michaels ruined sexy cowboys. That's what it was. Shawn Michaels ruined sexy cowboys.
But hey, Mike's sexy.
He deserves it. Who deserves it? Roman Reigns? Get out of here. Get out of here, stupid, that bullshit.
He can take that Universal title in a way, but it's like, give me my WWE Championship back and give it to someone who works.
They're gonna have a real conundrum on their hands here. That's a $5 word.
Also, we haven't even so Brock Lesnar came back. So
yes,
it seemed like we were getting Brock and Bobby at SummerSlam, but that obviously isn't happening now. So now it looks like, and if Theory and Cena's going to be at the end of SummerSlam, I really do begin to think that Bobby, I know we're mixing up a bunch of stuff here. I think Bobby might actually win that US title, and then he'll just have a match at SummerSlam, because Theory and Cena doesn't necessarily need a title. But if Bobby loses to Theory, like, he could be left out of SummerSlam, which I think is a big missed opportunity, because especially without Cody, he's the biggest babyface on Raw besides Bianca.
I cannot believe how much Bobby is so over. Right? He's so over. It's ridiculous.
Bobby's like the prototypical guy you'd cheer for if he was well done, because he's got the look, man. Look at him. The man's impressive. He's impressive. And he has the entrance, one of the coolest entrances in the game. Then he opens his mouth and we're a little less intrigued, but it doesn't matter. He's still over. Kids don't care about that.
So here's the thing. Roman Reigns, yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. Do you get to a point where you get the a title off of him, or does somebody beat him with both championships, and then it's like, what are you doing here? I
don't know.
It's hard. It's going to be hard to get both of these championships off.
Same thing with the Usos. Like, if the Street Profits win, do they carry around the 800 belts?
I mean, I'm just going to keep voting for the Usos because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like we are going to be bumbling, fumbling, and rumbling all the way to the castle.
I don't think WWE knows what they're going to do yet either, because they've never definitively said anything. You know, they're calling them the undisputed whatever championships, but they haven't unveiled new titles yet that are just like one title. So it makes me think they are going to split them eventually, and it'll just happen whenever like Roman and the Usos like lose. It'll be like, they'll just like split them. Then like Stephanie McMahon will come out on SmackDown and be like, "We need a new championship for the draft," and they'll, I don't know.
Here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
You've noticed that there's a lot of championships. They could combine them, right? But you make an excellent point about what are you going to do, right? Two titles needed. Well, each title needs to be on their own championship, like their own show. That's what and Stoop says differently. He says 2 titles stink. Well, look, that's how you feel. And that's your thing. Like, if you don't think it works, that's for you, man. But like, I think in terms of like servicing USA and servicing, Fox, you kind of have to have their own champions for their own things, for their own reasons.
Yeah, especially because we're literally less than 2 months into this thing, and Roman's already just hasn't been on Raw in over a month. The whole point of unifying the titles was so like you could have the guy on both shows, and he's not showing up to either show. When he does show up, he shows up to SmackDown. So the WWE title is pretty much a prop right now, because he's defending the Universal Championship, it seems like. And the same thing, like at least like the Usos. The Usos are doing what you'd want to do if you unify the titles. There's one dominant tag team in WWE, and they go to either show to defend them. Like, that works. But with Roman, the way he's doing it, it doesn't work. You need to split them if he's only going to show up on one show once a month.
You notice how they've been also kind of like showing packages for the Viking Raiders? I feel like they're going to try to get some undercurrent for them.
Well, after the Street Profits lose, they're trying to build contenders for the Usos.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, what they're going to do is they're going to beat the Street Profits. SummerSlam, hell, it might be the Viking Raiders, but it's like you also have like the New Day and the Brawling Brutes in the back. So they are trying to build up some people for the Usos to knock down, but I don't think any of these teams are beating them anytime soon.
No, that's fair. I tend to agree with you I tend to agree with you on the fact that we need a championship on each show. I do believe that. I think if Roman Reigns is going to continue to be Island Boy, let him have the
Island Boy.
He's an Island Boy on the island, and he does all that stuff over there on SmackDown. And then on Raw, we can have our nonsense with Riddle and Seth Rollins and all these other people who are doing great work. Hell, I would love to see Kevin Owens get the WWE Championship. Have Elias or Elrod sniff a match. That's fine. Like, they're not going to win, but
I was wondering where you were going when you said sniff.
Sniff. No, they're not going to win. If they get a sniff, that's fine. You can sniff it. You can't win it.
Elrod would be a good 24/7 champion.
Elrod would be an amazing.
Which I believe Elias won it a couple times. So
I think that was his first championship. Yeah, I think you're right. But no, look,
he doesn't have any others, right?
Yeah. Well,
his only championship.
He might have been a tag champ at some point if he would put his. No, I'm saying he could have been, but it's just like that. I stopped this directly before we get the rest of the heat. We haven't talked about the Vince McMahon stuff. Do we not care? Do we want to?
I mean, they're smart, man. They advertised it on SmackDown, so you pop it. Everyone tuned in to see what he's going to say. He comes out, he says nothing. Then on Raw, you do the surprise one, so the crowd goes nuts.
Yeah,
and all he does is promote Cena. It's like, they know what they're doing, man. Vince also, like, you know how much of this shit has come over Vince over the years? It's going to, as time passes, it's going to get brushed away. He still has full power over creative and all this. It's just, Stephanie's just holding his title until he's ready to take it back. It's one of those things. It's such
PR.
It's a thing that everyone's making a big deal because, like, oh my God, there's going to be all these changes. Like, no, there's not. There's not going to be any changes because this has happened before. Like, Linda was named interim CEO at one point, and then it just got back to Vince when that got under. And it's just like, these allegations, these won't be the ones to sink Vince. I'm sure there are much worse ones that they could find, but these are the ones that aren't going to do it. He'll survive it. He'll be fine. But of course they're going to parade him out, man. That's how you pop ratings. That's how the TV industry works. They're genius. He'll probably be out on SmackDown again to tell you Cena's coming on Monday, or that we'll see Roman Reigns in a year. That's going to be the next time he defends his title. So
I'm just with the allegations and accusations or whatever. It just made me think to myself, this guy fucking takes a negative and turns it into a goddamn.
Well, just like look at the crowd reaction to some. That shows you, like, it's one of those things. Like, there's some keyboard warriors that get all like upset about it and whatever, but the majority of the people either don't know about it, don't care about it, or it's just like it's one of those things they do know and they're just like, whatever, it's Vince fucking McMahon. We've seen the same thing. Freaking Hogan survived being a piece of shit douchebag racist. That motherfucker comes back and gets revered and cheered and whatever, even though every black person in the locker room fucking hates him because he's a piece of shit. But they don't care because you know what? He makes money, he pops ratings. That's what it's all about. It's bullshit, but that's the way the world works.
Well, that's a good way to end it because I just wanted to make sure we addressed
it
about
in
we
the
addressed
heat
it in the room. Because I don't know what to say specifically, but it is what it is. I am curious where else you'd like to go on the show. I've got plenty of things I can talk about very quickly that are just.
We had a lot of people qualify for Money in the Bank. Omos beat Riddle, Asuka beat Becky, Raquel beat Shayna. I believe there's 2 spots left in the women's and 2 spots left in the men's. Which 2 more of those spots, a men's spot and a women's spot, will be filled on SmackDown. Zayn and Nakamura, Shotzi and Aaliyah. But I don't know if none of those like really stood out to me as anything special, but they're all people I expected to be in the match.
And then we get to Monday where nobody's going to win. It's going to be nobody. It'll be great. Look, so here's the thing that I'm gonna go from SmackDown and on because this is just kind of the way it was. Shanky had his little dance. I did like the Shanky dance from the tuba thing. Like, that was great with the tag match, and of course we're doing more things. There's
see, that's where they lost me a little bit. I liked in the entrance where he was dancing behind him back, and even in the rain. But like when Xavier starts playing his like out of tune freaking thing, and he starts, that got a little too hokey for me. but whatever. I get it. It comes with the territory.
So we get that whole thing. Again, jobber alert. There it is, folks. Of course, Baszler, almost a jobber alert when she lost to your girl, Raquel.
She's your girl. She was first team all Nestle. Then you dropped her, and then she
first team
came
all
back.
Nestle. Really?
Yeah, she was, and then all of a sudden you cursed her into making her boring. Then you dropped her, and she's come back and been better than ever. So
well, you know what happens is just sometimes Bill Belichick just sees something in somebody, drops them, and they come back and they're better. That's what I do.
He doesn't do that though.
Yeah, he does.
He uses them. He drops them when they're ready to be done, though. That's kind of his MO.
I'm like the Bill Belichick.
Because so many Patriots go to other teams and suck. So it's not. You're incorrect.
It's okay. Reverse. Boing flip. No, anyway, moving on.
Nestle curse is real, folks.
So this random thing that really bothered me, Drew and Sheamus were fighting each other for a waste of time to only be told they're both in there. That made me really just angry because
we called it last week.
Max Doobie didn't like the lighting. We're waiting until next week. Stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's
the same thing as Veer, man. You just you get more mileage because once this debut, all the mystique is over. Because then you're in it, and they got to succeed.
They exist.
But you can really milk stuff before a debut and really drag it out, and especially when it's a heel, it works, man. It does. I do think it'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they dragged it out next week for another reason. They did it after Money in the Bank, but we'll see.
Okay, moving over to Raw. The 5 women have a nonsensical argument about whatever, and then of course,
I actually enjoyed that segment.
Rhea, she's out for some reason, so we have Carmella taking in the place replacement here for Rhea. I'm curious how you think about this. I think Mella's a good stopgap here.
I think it's an easy. So I was almost expecting, because the rumor was Bianca Becky at SummerSlam, but obviously with Rhea's injury, you would think maybe Bianca. I think Bianca Rhea is better at SummerSlam, anyways. Sure. That maybe they do Becky here, but I actually kind of like what they're doing with her storyline a little bit. It's very Seth-ish. Going into WrestleMania, they're doing the same thing that's working. But yeah, we already knew Liv and Alexa were in the match, so we figured they wouldn't win. We figured Asuka was probably going to get Money in the Bank. Becky might eventually. So it was Carmella's kind of the odd duck here because she kind of teased going to the 24/7 title, but it's one of those things, man. Mella's a plug and play. We talk about a lot of the males that are plug and plays, but Carmella, especially when you got that babyface champion, Mella's a plug and play. Know why? Because she can fucking talk and she's adequate in the ring when you give her a good dance partner. So it'll be a fine match at Money in the Bank, but next week, the lead up, it'll be a good promo because Mella's good on the mic. So it works. Is it going to be something I'm looking forward to at Money in the Bank? But at least we'll get a good promo next week on Raw.
So the other thing that happened here was we had a Jay versus Dawkins and what looked like a Michael Jordan outfit, which was goddamn ridiculous.
He wears that every week.
I know, but it just looks weird. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't.
Me and Dawkins don't care what you think.
Yeah, but you and Dawkins have the same thing where you have a little bit of you're in shape, right? But then
I am not in the shape of Dawkins. That man is in great shape.
I don't know. Just didn't look right on him.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, it just didn't look right. Didn't look right.
Fine.
Anyway, Dawkins wins. Who cares?
You're a basketball jersey shamer.
I love basketball jerseys. I just don't have as many as you do in your closet. You got a whole.
I don't actually have that many basketball jerseys.
You got a lot of cowboy jerseys.
I have a few, but half of them don't fit. They're from when I was a kid. I haven't bought jerseys in
So what do you just leave them? You don't even wear them. You just leave them.
Well, they don't fit anymore. They're from when I was a kid.
So what do you do with them though? They just take up space.
In my closet. Yeah, they're
you're a hoarder. You're a hoarder.
No, I just don't want to throw them Emmitt Smith jerseys. You pay a lot of money for these things. Maybe someday when I'm rich,
frame them.
I'll frame them, put them on the wall. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have
blank walls behind you, bud.
I don't have enough room in here to do that.
What are you talking about? You got a whole blank wall behind you.
Someday in Nestlemania, when I'm rich and famous off this podcast, I'll buy a mansion and I'll have a little man cave and I'll mount them all in there.
Oh, you'll be mounted all right and stuffed.
I mean, if I have a mansion, probably.
Anyway, there's a gauntlet match with Bobby. That match existed.
I actually really like the finish of this match. I love Theory being the third guy, and that
jobber alert.
That was the most powerful roll up I've ever seen in my life. Nestlemania. Even that, I don't think you can complain with. That was a very impressive move. I like that a lot.
I liked it. I thought that the ending was great. I thought the previous part with the microphone was great with the pose down and the spear. I thought that was wonderful. Yep. But the match itself just made me go. Ugh. There's something about Gable versus Bobby wasn't bad. I didn't mind that. Then we get to Otis. It is what it is. And then I just didn't like the double DQ to get into. I just felt like it made it feel like Theory looked like an idiot. I know he is.
I mean, that's the whole point. But I will say the little tease we got of this and that finish, Theory Lashley at Money in the Bank is going to be a lot of fun because Theory is really good.
I know. He's going to make Bobby look great. It just sucks because I feel like I have a sneaky suspicion that somehow I just feel like Theory should win. I don't know how.
He might, because I could Theory Cena for the U.S. title that like rates itself, but I could also see them giving Bobby something since Roman's hoarding the titles. That it's just like, I don't know. It just I think it will be one of the matches at Money in the Bank that is a true coin flip, and you can make a very good argument on either side.
But as long as he holds the mic or has the microphone attached to him for the rest of his career, I'm all set. I think that's great. It's wonderful.
Works.
It's a beautiful thing. I love the whole oiled down thing. It was hysterical. It made me laugh so hard. Something else that it wasn't great, and boy, Guthrie's going to take this and for an inch and take it for a mile. Veer needs a manager. Like,
I mean, we kind of said that since the beginning.
No, I know, but when he was talking, I'm like, and I know it's not his first language. I get that, but
he's pretty well spoken though.
He is well spoken.
He seemed uncomfortable in that type of promo.
That was where one of those he got handed a script. Yeah. It didn't sound like something he would say, so he fumbled it. And so it's hard. I mean, at least he's not Aziz, who's off TV and not probably ever going to be in anything ever again.
I forgot that guy existed.
Yeah, because Apollo went down to NXT.
Apollo ditched him and said, "Screw you, you stink. I'm going back."
He lost his accent.
Gimmick. Yeah,
lost his accent, his whole lineage, and went back to being Apollo instead of being with Aziz. So Apollo. So there you go, folks. It is what it is. And that's pretty much where I'm headed. I'm done. I'm good in the heat here. Would you like to
get hopeful?
Okay, let's do it.
Glorious.
You're my only hope.
Would you like to go first? Go for it.
First. Okay. So JC, a big Gunther getter. He loves Gunther. He loves Gunther.
I love Ludwig too.
Ludwig. He's a Ludwig lover. And a Gunther. Yeah.
A lethal Ludwig lover.
A Luther. Say that 3 times fast.
Lethal Ludwig lover. Lethal Ludwig. I can't. I tried.
You could say it as a normal person instead of trying to do it with the accent, but that's fine.
Nah, it's more fun.
Ludwig lover.
Darin General.
So here's the thing. Gunther is going to have a very long reign as IC champion. But JC did say to me and said to all of you in the Gunther promo, he did say no American is going to hold this championship. And it sparked a little something inside of me, JC. And all I could think about was, he's right. He's absolutely right. There will be no American that takes that championship away from Gunther. But you ready for this?
No.
This is going to get you boned up. Oh, yeah. This is where you have somebody from the international side of WWE take away the championship from Gunther. Not right away. Hold on. Stop it with the Osprey. Here it is, folks. You ready? He's never held the Intercontinental Championship, and in a year could potentially be a babyface. And when he wins this IC Championship, becomes a true Grand Slam champion. Fella! Babyface Sheamus against a beaten, bruised, and think of that. Gunther. Those two going at it. Heavy. Love it. Big meaty men slapping meat. I'm in. Sheamus gets his long-awaited IC championship. He does great work. He does wonderful work. He deserves this moment. And I think Gunther versus Sheamus, promo-wise, would be so odd. I just want to see it. I have to see it. I will be so excited when this happens because there's some things that just make sense. And I think Sheamus is the kind of person to lean over to Gunther and be like, all right, no, really lay it in, or your face is going to be
those two would love fighting each other. They would be slapping and punching and kicking as hard as they can. I cannot wait for that. I want this. Now that you said this to me, it's like the only thing I've wanted to wish for wrestling. This is it. I'm putting it out into the universe. This is it. Well, in 3 years, when Gunther loses the title, maybe you'll be correct. Seriously, I'm going to lose my shit if it's Sheamus versus Gunther. You have no idea. I mean, it might be at some point. I don't know if I feel like Gunther's going to hold this thing forever. So by the time he loses it, it might be to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in 3.5 years after he had a year-long world title run. And what they normally do is, like we've seen in the AJ Styles, they lose the world title and immediately win a mid-card title. So I just don't want him to body slam Gunther on the USS Intrepid like fucking Luger and Yokozuna. That'd be fucking awful. Just no thank you. No fucking thank you. I need a hero. No, never. I remember how pissed I was as a kid because I was a Bret Hart guy, and then in comes Lex Luger off a fucking helicopter. Fuck you. That's what I'm telling you. Lex Luger was not American hero. Give me my Canadian hero because Bret Hart was a hero. You anti-American. No, I'm not. Bret Hart was a better hero. The end. I liked Hulk Hogan when I was a kid. I love Macho Man Randy Savage. They're American.
I love CM Punk. I
One of
love
them's
Taz,
a real
Jericho.
American. Fight for the
You know how
rights
Hulk
of
Hogan's
every
lyrics
man.
kind of juxtapose who he is?
Yeah, I know.
Kind
Of
of odd,
course.
right?
Most heroes are a juxtaposition of what they actually are.
We're using a lot of $4 to $5 words on this program today. I'm sorry, I'm equating with different things today. Must have hit my head. Anyway, let's move on to your hope, buddy. Let's
Well,
do it.
mine's short and sweet, Nestlemania, because it's Money in the Bank season, and we've done all the Seth hopes and this and that, but haven't really touched the women's. Mine's pretty simple, and it's not going to happen because they never give it to the fan favorite and the one we all want to win. But my hope is that Liv Morgan wins Money in the Bank. Hashtag JC hopes come true. Hashtag JC knows. That's what the people want, which means we're not going to get it. It'll probably be fucking Becky, but whatever. I'm going to hope for it, so it's out there, and maybe my power of hopefulness. Maybe it'll feel the power of Liv Morgan actually winning Money in the Bank and becoming Raw women's champion when Rhea wins, and she can cash in on her. It kind of writes itself.
I can't. I just fucking can't. I mean, you sit there every year and you talked about Shelton Benjamin, and he finally came back. So you know what? Kudos to you for sticking in there. But Liv Morgan probably will be she'll be a bridesmaid, never a bride, and that's okay. You said some people are just there.
She's gonna win it at some point, and it could they might just run back the same thing they did with Nikki ASH last year, like have her cash in after someone and then have it for a month and then lose it. Like that, Liv Morgan will have a 1 month reign at some point. It'll happen. I mean, especially like you saw Carmella undress her in the promo, being the only one in the ring that isn't a former champion. And like they lay these seeds for a reason. If it isn't happening this year, it'll happen the year after that. It's going to happen at some point, but they're going to make us wait because that's what they do in WWE. The best things happen when we have to wait. We've been waiting a long time for Liv, and we might be waiting a little longer, but it doesn't mean I can't hope for it, baby.
I just think you're wrong, but that's okay.
She's the first OG friend of the Knocker, so. We've
first OG friend of the Knocker?
Yeah, like our first episode, she like tweeted at us. Or
did she really?
Yeah. She's like, this was back when she was in the Jersey gimmick in NXT. The yo. Yeah, yep. When she hadn't won a match in like 3 years. So
she was a jobber, probably.
She's come a long way, baby.
And she was in the doorway, but that's for another thing. So look, doorway while something else is going on. It sounds weird when I say it.
It does sound weird when you say it. Should we get comeback a full?
Speaking of comeback, do you want to give somebody your comeback?
Don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years, and that's something. I didn't do this on purpose, but I got an orange shirt. This was an orange drink. Now it's just an orange straw and an empty cup and some ice. You can see a little orange residue. My comeback goes to Orange Cassidy. I'm gonna put my hands in my pocket. Hold on. It's hard to put on sunglasses when you're wearing headphones, but Orange Cassidy is one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW, man. He's just fun. When he's on screen, I pay attention. He's interesting. And it's crazy because when that man takes off the sunglasses and turns it on, he can go in the ring. So you want your flippy dippy boy to have a good match that I'll care about at Forbidden Door? You give him Orange Cassidy because that man makes me care, and that man makes Will Ospreay, which is a weird bird, interesting. So I'm all thrilled to have Orange Cassidy back from his injury, back in the ring, back on pay-per-view. And I'm looking at the match list on Sunday, and there is one match that I care about. Well, I'm excited for the Fatal 4-Way, but this is number 2. Number 1B, let's call it, is Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay, because the Doms and Conways of the world tell me how great this guy is. Every time I see him, he's just doing gymnastical stuff, which whatever, it's cool. I enjoy that. I love those guys. But it's just like selling me as a top guy. But you know what? A matchup with Orange Cassidy intrigues me a lot more than a matchup would be with some generic AEW guy. So Orange Cassidy, you get my comeback.
It sounded like you gave more of a comeback to hating on Will Ospreay.
No, I gave my comeback to Orange Cassidy, and it allowed me to talk about Will Ospreay.
So
legitimately, I'm not making that up. I said it to Dom when it happened. I'm like, Orange Cassidy makes me care about this Ospreay match more than probably 95% of that AEW roster would. You can give him a great wrestler and they can whatever, but knowing that I'll get to see Ospreay mix in a little bit of entertainment with Cassidy as well as having a great wrestling match, that interests me more than just some flippy dippy. Ooh, this will have like a little bit extra, which I always am a fan of the extra. So I actually legitimately, when I look at the card, this is one of the top 2 matches I'm looking forward to.
Speaking of extra, on Wednesday at Dynamite, there was a team that
jacket off
that did not only just get in a ladder match, folks, but they won the tag team championships. The Young Bucks, giving them my comeback. I love the Young Bucks because, well, folks, I just love Nick and Matt. I think they're geniuses. And honestly, I honestly assisted comeback to Christian.
Yeah, that was the lead, baby.
Boy. Yeah, I buried the lead. Buried the lead because Jungle Boy now has to face Christian, something we've wanted since, I don't know, a year ago when JC said he manages a dinosaur and I can't get it out of my head. Now we get the real thing. I'm excited about it, but honestly, the Young Bucks did a great job. I think the Young Bucks, as much as Lucha Express or whatever the hell they're called, Jurassic Express, is fucking same thing.
It was time for a change.
It was, yeah, we needed a new breathing of the life into these tag titles, because you can sit there and you can strut that ass saying that it's going to be the best tag team division in the whole world. But honestly, when you put it on them, I felt like I didn't care as much. You're not going to give it to FTR. You're not going to give it to other people.
You better be giving it to FTR because they've been the #1 ranked tag team. Nestlemania. You'll have your rankings and they keep getting passed
Nobody
over.
cares about rankings.
No, it is FTR because here's the setup for it. Is Young Bucks and FTR shows that you have the best tag division in the world. So not in this little fake pay-per-view, but on the next pay-per-view, you do Bucks FTR again in some ridiculous match and then get match of the year again. And that's how you show that you have the best damn tag team, because you have 2 of the top 3 tag teams in the world on your roster.
I'm just excited that Nick and Matt have it, because I think that it's a really good, it's an omen. It's an omen that it's going to be a big deal going forward. So that's how I feel about that.
They deserve to be the first 2-time tag team champions in AEW.
I just love doing you know what I mean? I just love doing the fight. We should both do it. No, other way. There you go. There you go. Good. There you go. That'll be a screensaver for me later. It'll be great.
God.
It's great. It's great. All right. Now we get into the, the big old finish.
Big old finish. We are going to get to Forbidden Door, but as we said on Raw, KO versus Ezekiel Elias or Rod, we already talked about that. But on SmackDown, we have a rematch between Gunther and Ricochet for the IC title. I'm excited for part 2 because part 1 was fun. We have Zayn Nakamura in Money in the Bank qualifier and a Shotzi Aaliyah Money in the Bank qualifier. Nestlemania, who you got? I feel like Aaliyah's going to win for some goddamn reason. There's no reason. I think it's going to be Shotzi, but I would love Aaliyah.
I think like Shotzi should win. I'd be happier if Shotzi won. I think that it makes Shotzi, she's more aggressive and fun. Like, I get it, but there's something about the princessy thing about Aaliyah that people like. So it is what it is. Sami Zayn should be in, and I think he will win, because I think what he's going to do is he's going to dedicate his performance in the Money in the Bank and then lose. I think to the Uso, because he's basically screwed up the whole bloodline thing. So I think that's,
if Rollins doesn't win Money in the Bank, I want Sami Zayn to win it, because I think him holding the briefcase with the bloodline is an incredibly fun story.
I agree. I think that's
I just have a weird feeling that Nakamura's going to win this match and Zayn's going to get screwed, but we'll see.
I do like, so here's the thing. Not that it's going to happen, but what if Sami Zayn was the guy that cashed in on Reigns?
It'd be amazing.
That would be so awesome. Like, the fact that he's part of, he's an honorary Uso, he can say that he's using it as a shield. He's never going to cash in. And oh my God, eventually, you could spend 6 months.
But here's the problem. If Zayn does win and does that, he'll lose. What he'll do is he'll wait till Roman's beat up by Lesnar and he'll cash in, and Roman will, the Usos or Roman will Hulk up and destroy him, and he'll just be in the Corbin category. In the Sandow category.
You could go that route, which I agree is the safe route, right?
It's lame, though.
But
if he gets it, I want him to win it.
That's what you could potentially spin it, because Sami Zayn, up until this point, right? Up until he got to SmackDown, you and I were talking about this in NXT, I think, when we were watching him in NXT. He was like Ricky Steamboat, the best babyface you had ever seen. You know what I mean?
If he wins that title, it'll be a Ziggler-esque moment. It'll be that kind of pop, because Sammy has been on an incredible heel run. But like you said, this man, when you talk about rootable, it just, when they flip it that one day, it'll blow the roof off.
And imagine if Roman Reigns is just sitting there going, I'm not giving it up until Sammy's ready. Imagine if he's just sitting on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
No, I know, but I
can't see Roman being a big.
He's very protective. You can tell he's protective of this run, right? So if he's gonna lose it,
so protective, he won't defend the titles because he's scared.
Yeah, he's scared. He's scared. All right, so sorry, we should talk about other things now. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll hit on NXT before we go to AEW. We had a loaded show, including Mello and Tony D for the North American Championship. That screams schmaz. We have Solo Sikoa and Grayson Waller in a JC Open. I'm very excited for that. We have my girl and the best entrance in the biz, Alba Fire, taking on your girl, Lash Legend. And we also have your boy, Von Wagner, taking on nobody's boy, Brooks Jensen.
Oh, my God. The Vaughn is going to be on the show.
Yeah, he's fighting Brooks Jensen.
I cannot wait for him to destroy Brooks Jensen. Brooks Jensen is what? Bull Buchanan's little boy. At least he's trying. I give him all the credit in the world. Vaughn's going to get his W back from Briggs, and then we're going to have a payoff at some point because Cowboys are stupid. So, well, they're not really Cowboys. Are they kind of Cowboys? They're Cowboy adjacent.
I think they're just like Southern boys.
Okay, country music. I don't like country music either. So, you know, it is what it is.
But yeah, Sikoa Wall, I would assume Sikoa wins because he seems to be the next up down the line for Mello. Fire will probably beat Legend because, you know, Alba's awesome.
And I can't believe you called Lash Legend my girl. That hurt. That hurt.
Did it on purpose. You love her. I think Guthrie's a big fan of her, actually. If I've seen his tweets correctly.
Guthrie, do you have a fever? Like, come on, like you must have something wrong with you. Like this
woman, like she has like the character potential.
She's a manager. She is not a wrestler. She could be a manager.
Her wrestling, like I can defend people being new, but hers, like it just I haven't seen any. If anything, she's gone backwards. So
she's a great manager. She is not a wrestler. That's where she is.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. She's still got time. They see something in her clearly. But any thoughts on Mello, Tony D?
Schmaz or the Mello can't miss. I mean, Tony D ain't fucking winning.
See, I thought Tony D would be a great feud for Breaker, but I don't know if they're waiting because I think he'd be a great guy to beat Breaker because he has like the stable around him too. He could protect himself, but maybe they're saving that. Who knows? But also, I think Mello could be the one to beat Braun. So, but yeah, no, this one screams Schmaz because it seems weird that I think they have like a special event next week that they're giving this away this week, but whatever. Nestlemania, we do have some Dynamite housekeeping before we get to Forbidden Door, including an All-Atlantic Championship qualifying match between Malachi Black and Penta El Zero Miedo.
God bless you.
Yeah, I'm picking Black.
I got to pick Black because why would two people from the Death Triangle be in a match together? It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me.
I mean, it could, but Malachi Black just seems one of the favorites to win this title. We also have a 6-man tag that features Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. I don't care. We also have a match I could care even less about between Jericho and Lance Archer taking on Moxley and Tanahashi. I fell asleep.
Well, people will watch for Tanahashi. I get that. Lance Archer, I'm sorry. Every time I see Lance Archer, that guy, if I saw him and meet him, I'd shit my pants because he's just an intimidating motherfucker. But he doesn't
do much for me either.
Unfortunately he's been treated as if like he's just there to look menacing and he loses. So him
and Brian Cage, the same guys. They get propped up just to lose. That's what they've been their entire AW.
Yeah, it doesn't get me excited.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a match that's happening. So besides the qualifier, I'm sure that Tony will add 30 matches after the podcast like he always does. I feel like we stop recording, I go on Twitter and he's like, Cocaine Boy is like fucking finished his snort and he's ready to go. But we go to Forbidden Door. As of now, there are only 6 matches listed, so there'll probably be more added because we know AEW usually has 14 match pay-per-views, but we have 6 as of now we can predict. We have a 3-way winner takes all tag team match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships and IWGP Tag Team Championships. We have FTR of Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, taking on the United Empire, Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, who are the IWGP Tag Team Champions, and Roppongi Vice, Trent Beretta, Roppongi Vice, Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero, who are in this match to take a pin from whoever's going to win.
I would say give it to FTR, so they can just pad those stats, baby. Be the best tag team in the entire fucking universe.
You know what they do after this? Next pay-per-view, winner take all AEW World Tag Team Championships versus. Doesn't FTR? Wouldn't this be like their third belts because they still have the AAA? Yep. So yeah, they could have. We could go great. Maybe the Young Bucks go to Impact and win those just for fun.
They are gonna need a fucking wheelbarrow
because you know what? Tony Khan is looking at what the Usos are doing. Oh, they're carrying 4 belts. I'm gonna have FTR carry 6, and if they beat the Young Bucks, they'll be carrying 8. So, oh my God, that's
none of it matters at that point, but whatever, it's great.
We both agree it's FTR. Next up, we have a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Thunder Rosa takes on Toni Storm. Look it. I don't know. I'm over Thunder Rosa as champ. It's been boring. A lot of it isn't her fault. So this probably won't happen, but I'm gonna pick Toni Storm.
I too am gonna pick the Storm. But here's the thing: Thunder Rosa has been a knocker supporter since I've tweeted at her. So absolutely. I gotta say I love Thunder Rosa the person. I just feel like, and again, like you said, not her fault. But something very underwhelming has happened during this championship reign. I don't know if it's the Britt Baker effect where like you can't be bigger than Britt Baker.
No, it's the she isn't put on TV effect. And when they give her segments, they're really bad segments.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think she's a better chaser than she is champion. 100%. I think that's what it comes down to.
Like most baby faces.
She's just a better chaser.
And Toni Storm's amazing and she deserves this. And I would love to see it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we're both going to predict it because, you know, we feel like giving one back to the
And she could take pictures on her OnlyFans with that championship and probably ask for a lot more money. So hopefully she gets more money.
All right, bonus
That's
Nestle Hope. Next up, we have a singles match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay, the champion, defends against Orange Cassidy. Obviously, we know Ospreay isn't going to be booked to lose. So, Orange Cassidy, the man's indestructible in terms of wins and losses. No matter what his AEW record says, which is actually pretty good. But I am going to take Will Ospreay.
I too will take the bird. I don't know why. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like,
maybe
I don't
this
get it.
match will change our lives and be the match of the year. It could be. Orange Cassidy is amazing.
I love New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I just not for me. But I get Okada. I get Tanahashi. I get a lot of them. Naito, I get that. I get them all. But for some reason, I just do not get the Ospreay.
You don't get Jay White either, so.
That's true. I do not get Jay White. I think Jay White is. We're gonna be at here's the
which
thing.
He's not booked yet, so that'll be
Jay White and Hangman and Adam Cole, baby. Oof. Or maybe they'll add a 4-way for fucking Okada too. Who knows?
And then Jay White will just win because that. So that isn't in the predictions yet, but when it does come out, we will pick Jay White. Next up, we have the Nestle Special, a 6-man tag team match. Playa Les Sex Gods, which I guess they're not the Jericho Appreciation Society anymore. It's Les Sex Gods of Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki with Tay Conti taking on Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and I'm going to mess this up, Shota Umino.
I don't care about this match.
I don't either, but who we're gonna pick.
I mean, Kingston Jericho boys? Does not lose, so I'm picking anything Jericho related.
All right, I'll go the other side. I'll pick Kingston, Yuta, and Umino.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters because there's no lead up to it. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I was considering that third person. I have no idea who he is because he's never been on Dynamite. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, he made a promo saying like how he beat him up. He was Red Shoes, the referee. I think it's his kid.
Probably
I get that.
It. Not gonna lie.
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, anything with Jericho in it is a fast forward at this point in my life. So
I will say though, and I said this to you off the air, putting Sammy and Tay back with Jericho makes a lot of sense, and it gives a little more credence to that jobberific stable JAS because now someone besides Jericho matters. So I will at least say that. And Sammy and Tay, like it's fine. But now we have 2 matches left that we currently have at this point of recording. A 4-way match for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Pac takes on Miro, takes on Ishii, takes on the winner of Black and Oscuro, which we both think will be Black. Nestlemania, I think this is the hardest match on the card to predict because I could see 3 of the 4 winning very easily. My heart says Miro. My brain says Pac. So give me Pac.
You're going to pick Pac. All right.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
All right. Well, clearly, I don't think I just don't think that. I don't think Penta's in there, so it's Black. I don't think Ishii's gonna win.
No, he's the one I'd throw out.
I don't think Pac's gonna win. I think it's either Miro or Black. I really do because I feel like Miro made a comment about championships, and I feel like you can't not have a championship on Miro.
That's true. In AEW, everyone has championships, so give the Redeemer, the greatest champion of all time.
Yeah. And then there's Black, which hasn't done anything. So it's just like, what do you do? I think Black.
He turned a 20-year-old girl heel.
I'm gonna go with Miro because that's where my brain goes. That's where my brain is going because Miro needs it.
My heart likes your brain then in this indication.
Well, they should meet up someday.
No.
Well, that was awkward. Anyway, let's go to the big old ending here with
the main event.
Main
a
event.
Singles match for the interim AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Give me the Mox.
Give me the Mox. Look, it's hard to say this. I liked New Japan. This is hard to say, right? Like I was really into New Japan 6 years ago, right? And I kind of, with Kenny Omega leaving, I kind of left. I really did, and that's not fair. I kept tabs on it, but when I look at this pay-per-view, JC, I don't think there's any winners here. Like the fans will win because they'll get excited about the matchups and stuff.
The specific version of the AEW audience who watches everything and loves it, like, are huge winners. But the big overall, like, it's not casual because I wouldn't call us casuals because we watch everything. But the people who don't watch both, they're kind of like in this whole area, we've been kind of confused. And I think we're looking forward to getting past this week so we can get back to what we love, and that is our AEW.
Well, here's the thing.
Talked to a lot of my friends who watch too, and a lot of them feel the same way because, hey, look at Dom and Conway. They do a great job on our YouTube talking about New Japan. You should, of course, check them out. They'll have a lot more in-depth stuff. But for us in general, like you notice, it's not a weekly thing we talk about on the podcast. We're not familiar with it. So we get this pay-per-view with these guys sprinkled in. I've never heard of half of them. So.
And again, Tanahashi's the John Cena. Like that's the way you look at it, right? Tanahashi and Moxley will be a cool match. Like I think people, and it'll be a 5 or 6 star match that I'm sure, what's his face Meltzer will be all excited about. The 4-way is the best match besides, I'm sure we're making a joke of Ospreay, but I mean, it's interesting. The 6-man tag, nobody really cares about. It's nice. It's nice to see the women because the women in New Japan doesn't have really a women's division. So I get that. FTR is kind of like a check mark for me. It's like they have to win. And
that match will probably be really good. I'm sure those guys are going to go balls to the wall.
No, I understand that, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, in what should to me be a monumental thing, right? Like this should be a monumental moment in wrestling. I feel like the air has been let out of the room.
Well, I think you said it best when we talked about it, or maybe you said it in the thread. It's just like when you get two different promotions, like you can't make both happy. So to make it compelling, it's like we already know the guys who they can't have lose, and it's going to be whatever. So it becomes very safe. It's like you can't have Ospreay face one of the top guys because neither of them are going to want them to lose. So you give him Orange Cassidy, who's a top draw, but not a guy who needs to win. So it's just like, I don't know. It just, you kind of get it, and it's kind of a dud a little bit, but people will love it. It'll do a decent amount of buys. I don't think it'll be anywhere close to the other AEW pay-per-views, but I don't know. I'm ready for it to be in the past. I didn't even know it was this Sunday. I'm glad it is because we don't have to talk about it again after this Sunday.
Here's where I jinx everybody. It'll end up becoming AEW versus ROH soon. So,
well, they're the same thing. So I don't know.
No, I know, but it is whatever. Hey, Birdski's here.
It'll be like
I need the Forbidden Door to be closed after the show for a while.
Yep. A lot of us are on the same page with that.
So look, I don't disagree, but it's fatiguing, as JC would say. It is fatiguing.
Get it out of my face. So I want Roman Reigns back on my TV, and I want the Forbidden Door off my TV. So I need Roman Reigns to walk through that Forbidden Door, close it and lock it forever, and be on Raw and SmackDown every week. Boom. Problem solved. 2 birds with 1 door.
2 birds with 1 door. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not picking up Forbidden Door this Sunday because I just
absolutely not. I will not spend my money on that.
I just feel like the hardcores are going to love it. And I hope you all enjoy it. I really do. For you guys, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's everything you want. I'll definitely pick it up in clips and try to look at stuff, but
Dom will tell me to watch Ospreay and Cassidy and I will watch it.
Yeah. Dom's
if Miro wins, I will find a way to watch that. Besides that, I don't really give a shit.
Follow Dom on Twitter and Conway too, because they do a great job on the whole New Japan side. So they're probably boned up and ready to go for Sunday. But the rest of us, we got stuff to do. It is what it is, unfortunately. On that note, do you need to do anything else? Are we good?
Jobberknocker.com. Check out the website where you can read Joe's weekly AEW reports, Dom's NXT reports, and all the other good stuff there. tpublic.com/Jobberknocker. Pick up the merch. We're each wearing our different colored JKP shirts today. One of my, I really like this design, and I love this color. Yeah, so you can do that. Twitter, like you said, follow all the boys, including us, at Jobberknocker on Facebook and Instagram as well. 5 stars, 5 films on podcasting platforms. Like the video on YouTube. Share it around. Tell your friends. Tell your dog. Tell your cat. Tell their friends and everybody's friends and foes. Hey, tell everyone. We appreciate you spreading the word and giving us those 5 stars, 5 flames, and those likes.
Okay, well, on that note, we hope you enjoy Forbidden Door, and we'll be back next week with more Jobberknockery.
Yep.